Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes. Well, today I'm going to take a look at a very small game indeed. In fact, a game that's so small that it comes in a wallet that you can quite easily pop into a pocket or into a bag or handbag and take and play with you anywhere. And these wonderful little games are produced by Button Shy Games, and they are famous for these 18 card wallet games. And I must admit, I'm a huge fan, and we do have rather a lot of Button Shy Games, I must admit. We enjoy them so much that we joined their game, like a Game of the Month club, where you sign up on their Patreon and you get a new game every month. It is quite fantastic and really well worth the money to do so. And just a quick note here that even though I'm a Button Shy Board Game of the Month club member, Button Shy did send me a copy of this game for me to show you all on the channel. But we have an awful lot of Button Shy games, but this one is the brand new one. And this is based on a game that came out a little while ago called ROVE, which stands for Results Orientated Versatile Explorer. But I'm sure you will agree that ROVE is a lot more easier to say. Now, ROVE was a solo game that came out a little while ago. This one is Aqua ROVE, and it's designed by Dustin, Dobson and Milan Zivkovic. I hope I pronounced those names right. This is a game for one player and will take you around 15 minutes to play. So before we look at how to set up and play a game of Aqua ROVE, let's have a Fun with Boxes look at what you get in the game. Well, here we have Aqua ROVE by Button Shy Games. So let's open it up and take a look at what we get inside. Well, of course we have a small rules booklet, and then we have the 18 cards. And you could well be forgiven for thinking, well, that's not much of a game, is it? And if you did think that, wow, you couldn't be far further from the truth. Well, there are just a few components to the game. There are the 12 movement and mission cards, and there are 6 module cards that are double-sided to show when they have been used and exhausted. Okay, setting up a game, you take your 6 module cards, give them a good little shuffle, and then you set them up active side up in a 2-column 3-row layout. Then take all the other cards and again give them a good little shuffle, and then take the top card of the deck, and this will be your first mission that you'll need to complete. And to start the game, you draw a starting hand of 5 cards from the deck for a normal difficulty game, and 4 cards for hard and 3 for impossible. So obviously start off with a handful of 5 cards and keep space for a discard pile above. These are my hand of cards, and I'm now ready to play. And the gameplay is deceptively straightforward. You will tackle a series of missions, each with a unique pattern, and you will need to arrange your modules to match the pattern on a mission to complete that mission. And you need to complete 7 missions to win the game. So for example, to complete this mission, I would need to have this card and this card next to each other, like so. And then I would need any 2 other cards here and any 2 other cards. And then if you see, that will have completed the mission, because these 2 have to be next to each other in this shape, and any other cards just need to be in these positions. And once you've completed a mission, what you would simply do is set it to one side and then draw the next mission from the top of the deck. Once you complete this one, you will then add it to your previous completed one, and so on, going deeper underwater as you complete 7 missions to win the game. When the game talks about adjacency, they mean the cards must be adjacent either on the vertical, corner to corner, or edge to edge, like these are. So these are all adjacent. And as you play the game, you would need to imagine a grid that you move your cards around. And so long as you keep them adjacent, you can move them. So for example, I could not move that to there because it has become unadjacent. Instead, I would need some way of perhaps moving the card to there and then moving it to there if I wanted to get it from here to there. Now, in order to rearrange your modules to try and create this pattern, you will need to generate movement points. And you will earn movement points by playing your movement point cards into your play area. For example, this card would give me 3 movement points. Now, additionally, you will get an extra movement point if these 2 modules are adjacent to each other in your setup. So, for example, this is not adjacent to this card. So you wouldn't get the +1 movement on that one. However, if we were to use this card, this is adjacent to this card. So while the card gives you 2 points, we will get an extra +1 for 3 movement points because these 2 cards are adjacent. If you were to use up all the movement points or decide to play another card for movement points, then you would discard that card. Now that we've calculated our movement points, we will be able to then use those particular points off that particular card to move our modules around our play area. And there are 3 different types of movement. This here, with the line with the arrow at the end, this allows you to spend 1 movement point to choose 1 module and then move it in any number of spaces in one direction shown on the movement card. And the module may pass over other modules, but obviously cannot stop on a module. So, for example, using this card for 3 movement points, what I could do is move that card into this position. This is just an example of movement. I'm not trying to complete this mission. I'm just giving you an example of how the movement works. The next card has a line with a dot at the end of it, or a circle at the end of it. And you can spend movement points using this card to choose 1 module, then move it 1 space in one of the directions shown on the movement card. So, for example, I could move this to here, or I could move this card to here, just following the movement shown on the card. Finally, there's the card that has a line at the end of it, and with these you spend 1 movement point, choose 1 module, then move it 1 space in one of the directions shown on the movement card. And if it moves into another module, you push it 1 space in the same direction. And each pushed module will push others as well. So for example, what I could do using these movement points is I could use this one to push these cards along for 1 and for 2, and then 3 and 4. And after resolving moves, your modules must never stack on top of each other. They must align to that imaginary grid extending in all directions from the starting layout and connect to each other in one contiguous group, and modules are connected if they are adjacent or if they can reach through a series of 1 or more adjacent modules. In addition to using the movement cards for their points, you can also use the one-off module abilities. and these all have varying different things. So for example, if I wanted to get 2 additional movement points from a card, what I could do is I could use this module and flip it over, gaining the extra 2 movement points, and then for the rest of the game I can no longer use that card's ability. This card, for example, will allow me to swap 2 modules that are adjacent to each other. So what I could do is I could swap these 2 around and then turn the card over to show that I have used it, and once again I will not be able to use this for the rest of the game. So these need to be used wisely, because you have to complete not just the 1 mission, you have to complete 7 missions, and all the modules have a unique ability. And once you've completed a mission, as I said earlier, you would simply take the next card and add that on top of the first card, and then this becomes your new mission, and you would continue to do this until you have completed all 7 missions. And obviously if you fail to complete one of the missions, you lose the game. When you complete a mission, you check to see if you have fewer than 5 cards in your hand, and if you do, you draw 1 card from the top of the deck and then flip it to its movement side to add to your hand. If the deck is ever empty, flip over the discarded pile to ensure its cards are mission sider and use it as a new deck. Do not shuffle. And that's how you play a game of Aqua ROVE. Well, let's set the game up and let's have a quick couple of rounds just to give you an idea of how the game plays. Okay, this is my random setup. This is my random card drawn, which ironically is the card that I was using in the setup example of the game. Okay, so I draw 5 cards from the mission deck, flip them over, and these are the cards I've got to play with. Now I'm trying to get the cards into this almost lopsided 3 shape, and I need this card to be here, to be adjacent to this card, and I need to get some other cards down here underneath. So let's have a look at what we have here. So I have the card that allows me to do a 4 movement, and this is not adjacent to that, so I've just got 4 movement points, and I could use that to move some cards down. So let's see how this works. So I shall play this card and I shall move this card down 1 to get that to that position, and so that's 1 movement, 2, 3, and let's push this across for 4. So that's all my movements used, so I discard that card. Now I'm still looking to get this one. I need to get these 2 over here, and then I can complete the game. So I just need to get that one across to there, or I could even try and get it there and there. So let's see what options I have. Ideally you'd be trying to look to complete it using only 1 movement card, so that when you draw the next movement card you will always have 5 in hand. However, I'm going to have to use another movement card, so that will leave me with 3 in hand, and I would draw just back 1, so all of a sudden my hand is reduced to 4, making the game increasingly harder as we go along. So I could use this movement card. These are not adjacent to each other, but I've got 2 movement points to move in any direction. So I could simply move that card there, and then I could move this card here and discard that card after use, and then I have completed the mission. So that mission is completed. My next mission will now be this card, forming this shape, and you do not reset the board. Now we have to get everything moved using our movement cards into this position. So I've now only got 3 cards in hand. I would draw another card, and now I have these cards to use to try and complete the second mission, and so on until you've completed 7 missions. But don't forget, I could use the module's abilities to help out to save on using certain cards, and that is the tactfulness in the game. Do you spend a movement point card or use an ability? It all depends on what pattern you are trying to go for. Well, there you go. Aqua ROVE. What a fantastic game. Wow, this really is brilliant and very, very challenging indeed. Wow, what a clever little puzzle of a game. It never ceases to amaze me the brilliance of game designs the people are able to do with just an 18 card deck of cards. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. We have something like 65, 68 button shy games, and all of them are quite varying, very different games, but all of them featuring only 18 cards. It is mind-blowing what designers are able to come up with in this modern day of board gaming, and Aqua ROVE is a brilliant example of this. This is a fantastic solo game that you can literally carry around in your pocket and just set up and play wherever you are, and you will have a real challenging and also fun time playing this game. I can highly recommend Aqua ROVE. Indeed, I would even go so far as to give it 2 Fun with Boxes thumbs up. So there you go, that's Aqua ROVE, a splendid game. I do hope you enjoyed taking a look at it, and if you did, please click the old like button and also hit that subscribe button too. That would be very nice of you, because it will help grow the channel. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Please do take care, and bye for now.